Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? How are you doing? How has your day? Yes, we are live. How has your day been? How has your day been? How are you doing? How are you doing? Let me know in the chat. How are you doing? Are you excited? Are you excited to be here? Please share the link. If you are here, send the link to at least one friend you know who has, yes, Dr. Karen, I see you. Send this link to one friend. If you are watching me live, send the link right away to one friend who is an entrepreneur or who is looking to become an entrepreneur. If you are watching the recording, just click the share button and send the link to somebody. It will be a blessing to somebody, I know for a fact. So share this quickly, and let's go. Let's do this. So this is going to be a very quick class. I'm doing just 1 hour. We'll cover what we can, and then we'll meet again next month to continue. Because this topic cannot be exhausted in one sitting. We need to go into it. But my aim with this class is to lay the foundations with you, help you see at least the things that are possible, right? Show you the ropes. So please share it with your friends. So let me know in the chat box who is joining me in a class, any class at all for the first time. If this is your first time being in any session of mine at all, right? In the chat box, newbie. And if you are my oldies, if you've never been in my class but you've been following me for a while, you're still a newbie. If this is your first time being in a virtual classroom or a physical classroom with me, right, newbie. If you've been in any of my teaching sessions, right, OD, OD, Evita, nice, awesome. You're welcome, newbies. The newbies, it's been a while I did something like this, so I'm excited to have you here. It's been a while and I miss it, so I said, you know what, let's do this. Oh, I see all my newbies. What, the oldies? Okay, I see the oldies. Awesome stuff. Now, let me know in the chat, just to have a fair idea of what you do. Let me know what you do, your name and what you do. Your name and what you do, or it can be your business name and what you do. If you're also now looking at starting something, let me know as well. What does your business do? Now, whilst I wait for that, it's very crucial that you dedicate this time for the next 1 hour. I'm hoping to keep this within 1 hour and maybe 15 minutes for question and answers. But for the next 1 hour, I need you to give me your attention. If you have to put your phone on D&D, put off the TV, try not to have a divided attention. For those of you who have kids and all of that, I can't fault you, but try as much as possible to have give me your full attention for the next few minutes, right? Try and eliminate all forms of distractions, turn off your notifications and all of that, yeah. And then I'm also going to take questions at the end. I'll take a few questions at the end. So in case I miss it, I would highly recommend that you write it down in your notepad, in your notes app, whatever it is. And then when I say it's time for question and answers, then you can put in the chat box because it's very easy for me to miss it. All right. So there's that. And also, please subscribe as you are here and you are watching me on YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please. I think before I got on, we are at about 1,030 subscribers. By the time we are done, I need you to make me smile. All right. I need you to make me smile. So kindly subscribe to the channel. Kindly subscribe. I'm seeing quite a number of interesting businesses, and I believe all of you have joined this webinar because you want to build something beyond you. Please engage me in the chat. It what is your desire when it comes to your business, when it comes to what you're doing, when it comes to the legacy you want to leave behind? What is your desire? What is your desire? Liquefied petroleum gas. I see Sizzler restaurants. I see giftings. Oh, hi, giftings. I saw your email today. I respond. Events management and styling, tech content creator, hospitality hotel, the mixologist, mobile bartending services. Right. Sex therapist and relationship counselor. Awesome. Just so that the recording is not too long, I would skip over the businesses that are here. But please let me know, right? What do you want to gain from this? There's a reason you joined this class. Um so it means that there's the desire to build generational wealth. I just want to hear it from you. Why do you have the desire to build something that is outside? Like, what is it? What's bugging you? Now, whilst I wait for that, let me tell you a little bit about myself, especially for the newbies, right? My name is Patty the strategist. I've been in um, marketing in the business space, entrepreneurship, for 9 years, but I've been working with SMEs for the last 5 years. Now, before I started working with SMEs, I was working with one of the top marketing agencies in Accra. And so, whilst I was there, I got the opportunity to handle some multinational brands. I was key account manager for Nestle account. I worked on Nido. I worked on Maggie. I've worked on some of these amazing brands. Now, whilst I was working with these brands, I saw that there was a gap with our small businesses. There was a gap. I mean, 5 years ago, online businesses were a thing, but not as it is now. People were still new to the idea of shopping online. People were still new to the idea of attending to customers online. And a lot of people were just plunged into the entrepreneurship thing without the true resources to be able to build something sustainable. And it used to bother me a lot. And so I decided to jump in and help entrepreneurs, especially the small business, because the gap I saw, or the difference I saw between the multinational brand and you, for instance, is the resources available to them. The principles are the same. The principles don't change because you are small. The principles are the same. And so if you have access to these principles and you apply them the way you are supposed to, you see the results you need to see. So it was not a matter of budget, it was not a matter of financial constraints, it was a matter of knowledge gap. And so that is my job. My job is to fill the gap when it comes to your knowledge in entrepreneurship, marketing, all things that needs to help you increase your visibility, engage your stakeholders better, and increase your revenue, because that's the point. That's why we're in business, right? So it's very important that I share this for those that are just joining me. I also want to add that This thing that I'm doing as Party the strategist, I'm just a delegate. The task has been handed over to me by the chief strategist, who is my father, God. And so I talk about God a lot. I talk about biblical principles a lot because these principles work, but I know that there's an extra oomph when you add the God factor to it. And I'm not asking you to get into the God factor because Patty says so, right? But pursue the God factor because of your personal conviction and what it can personally do for you. Not only what you can get out of it and what you can benefit from it when it comes to your business. So I love to say that I'm a full-time Jesus girly and a part-time strategist. So if this gets biblical, I just need you to know that brace yourself. Like it shouldn't come as a shock to you. I am my father at one, and so I will have to speak about him even when I'm not trying. So there's that. Now, in the last 5 years, I've served a lot of entrepreneurs, some of them on this call, and the newbies, you are welcome. I have a bachelor's degree in marketing. I studied business administration, majored in marketing. I also have a certification from Harvard X in entrepreneurship in emerging economies. So economies like ours in Africa, economies like the economy of India. Those are emerging economies, and I studied how entrepreneurship can thrive in these kind of markets. So it's safe to say, besides the experience, I have the expertise, I have the certification as well to speak to these things. Are we good? Are we good? Good. Can I go on? Can I go on? Can I go on? Right. Awesome. Awesome stuff. So, Um, the we today we are speaking about the blueprint for generational wealth. The blueprint for generational wealth. Now, when it comes to the subject of systems and structures, it's one of my favorite things to talk about, right? It's one of my favorite things to execute. I don't think there's anybody that's been in any of my sessions that I've not spoken to about when it comes to systems and structures, um, because whatever it is that you're building, without the systems and structures, it will not hold. And so it's crucial for every venture to have systems and structures in place, right? Do we all agree? Awesome. So we are going to go through generational wealth. We all have the desire to build something that is older than us, can outlive us, something that we can step away from. I don't know if we are in the same WhatsApp group, but I personally want to get to the point where I can take a step away from my business and it can still operate the way it's supposed to. That revenue can still be coming out of the business without me, the founder, having to be actively inside the business, right? So for we also want to be able to leave something for our children so that they have a better head start than we did. We want to leave something, a legacy, so that they can have a foundation to stand on so they can do better than we did. We can, so that we can give them the soft life that we probably didn't have when we were coming up, right? But some of you did have a good, a good foundation and all of that. But imagine you're able to build a more solid foundation than your parents did for you. Like, that is taking it 10 times, 10 notches higher than your parents did for you. Being able to leave something that your children can live off, can take, not necessarily even take responsibility of, but just so they know that this is the legacy my parents have left for me. And this wealth I'm speaking about is not only limited to monetary wealth, right? There's wealth in different forms. But today we are going to be focusing on the wealth, especially when it comes to your business, right? Because for you to be able to leave wealth, it means that you have created wealth, you have preserved the wealth, you have multiplied the wealth, and it's being, reproduced, it's being multiplied until there's more, right? So we need to know what is the source of the wealth, first of all. And for some of us, it is our businesses, the corporations that we are building. For some of us, it is our personal brands. For some of us, it is in our corporate space, right? And so let me also make it clear that when we talk about generational wealth, we are mostly thinking about, entrepreneurship ventures that belong to me, something that I started myself. But you can build generational wealth in an institution, right? I'll use Joseph as an example. Joseph becoming a prime minister, that was not an entrepreneurial venture. He was appointed as a prime minister based on his wisdom, his expertise, the knowledge that he had gathered over the wisdom, that the divine wisdom that he had been given. And so he did not necessarily have to start something on his own, but based on that oil that he has. For those who don't know oil, I would have to explain to you when I make reference to oil. When I make reference to oil, it's basically anything that can fetch you money. Anything, whether skills, whether your business, whether your expertise, whatever it is that can be monetized, can be put into different vessels, different expressions, and can be monetized. So long as it is solving a problem and people can exchange, can do an exchange for it. I call it an oil. This is based off of Second Kings chapter 4. The oil, the widow with the jar of oil, the Elisha, that story. I don't want to go past my 1 hour. If I say I'm going to go into that, that's also another class on its own. Maybe I'll take time off and take you through that. But I'm not sure the art of money making cohorts will be happy about that. So what I'm basically saying is that Joseph found himself in an institution, but he was still able to make a difference in his generation. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you don't only need to go and start a business for you to be able to build generational wealth. That's one key thing that I need you to pay attention to. That's one key thing. Right? And when it comes to generational wealth, it's a biblical principle. It's a biblical activity that the Bible is saying that you should build generational wealth. One typical example is in Proverbs 13, verse 22. And it says that a good man leaves behind an inheritance to his children's children. So if you've not done anything, if you're not doing anything at all, at least for the generation after you and the generation after that, you should be able to leave something behind. How do we do that? How do we do that? How do we do that? How do we get there? How do we get there? So the blueprint when it comes to wealth generation, please let me know in the chat if you're with me. Let me know in the chats if you're with me. Let me know if you're with me in the chat. Awesome. Alrighty. Right. So please be engaging me in the chat so that I know that you are tracking with me. Now, the generational wealth blueprint is it's made up of different components, right? It's made up of different components. The first one is the foundation. If we want to build anything at all, we need to lay a foundation. And the architects will tell us, even a layman will be able to tell us that the kind of thing you are trying to build determines the foundation, right? And so if you know that you are going to build a 3-story, a 4-story, a 5-story, that influences the kind of foundation you build to be able to hold that building, to be able to hold that structure you are trying to put together. Do you understand? So you first of all must know your why. Why are you in this business? Why are you on this journey? Why are you in this business beyond making profit? And that is very important. You can tell me, oh, I am running my business because I want to make money. I want to be able to pay my bills. I want to be able to take vacations. I want to be able to leave something behind for my children. But that is not where the true purpose of your venture is. The true purpose is in the problem you are solving. When you are answering your why, it should be around the people that you are helping. When you are answering your why, it should be about the people on the receiving end. So beyond the profits, beyond the money, what are you trying to achieve? That heavily influences your mission, right? Your mission. What are you on a mission to achieve? What are you on a mission to help other people achieve? Beyond the shoe that you're selling me, beyond that dress, what are you trying to help me achieve? Yeah. And when you know your why, now we need to look at a vision. We need to zoom out of where we are now and see how grand we can solve the problem. Stop looking beyond, oh, it's just me, my small business, right? Start thinking from the bigger picture, and then now we work our way back. Because if you start building with the small bricks, you get to a point where you realize that, oh no, I did not build a solid foundation to be able to hold this dream that I have. Do you understand? So, bigger picture, what is it looking like? And now, for you to be on this call, we have established that you want to build a generational business. You want to build something that outlives you. And so now we have to have a multi generational vision. When God said to Abraham, cast your eyes to how far you can see, and everything you see, whatever you see, I'll give it to you. It's yours. So what do you see? What can you visualize? Where do you see yourself going? In the next, I'm not even talking 10 years, because 10 years is just a few a few hours away. In the next 20 years, 30 years, when you are going on retirement, how is your business looking like? Where are you? Who is taking over from you? When you look at it from that image, it's easier for you to now break it down. These are the things I need to have in place. So we'll go deeper into that. So the foundation is very crucial. And if you cannot visualize it, get yourself into spaces that can help you visualize it. What are the trends saying? What are the future reports saying? Are you reading about your industry? or you are just going to buy the things and stocking your shop? Are you reading about if you are, let's say you're in fashion, are you reading about where the retail industry is going when it comes to fashion? The industry you find yourself in, there are people that are doing research upon research, are predicting things. Are you informing yourself? Do you understand? But for me, my favorite form of visioning is doing it with God. Because at my core, I believe strongly that the work you are doing here on earth is a delegation. God has delegated the task to you. And when we go into systems and structures, I'll go into that deeper. God has an assignment. He's doing something, right? He's trying to achieve certain things. But he has children on earth and he says, I am giving you this task. God cannot come down and style my hair for me to look nice and feel confident and show up for things. So he will give that task, he will delegate the task and give it to my hairstylist, that this is the assignment I'm giving you. Now, how do you, for those of you that have subordinates, how do you feel when you give somebody a task? They don't come back to you for clarification. They just go and do what they think it is. And then they come back and it's completely off tangent. How do you feel? How do you feel about that? But imagine somebody you give a task to, they sit with you, ask specific questions. How would you want me, especially for a new employee? How would you want me to handle this? Okay, A, B, C, and D. And when they go, they get stuck, they come back. That is how the walk with God is supposed to be. You are constantly supposed to be walking with Him, seeking direction from Him. Not you going to try to figure things out by yourself. And when it doesn't work, you say it's against you. You are supposed to be building with God. Because in the grand scheme of things, you are just a small piece of the puzzle. He has the blueprint. You have to go for the manual from him. Right? So foundation is very important. Now, the next thing in the blueprint, so number one, foundations. I've spoken about that. Number two are the pillars. What holds the wealth? What holds the wealth? The first one, leadership. Leadership. You, as the visionary that is driving this vision, you cannot be compromised. What you see is what you translate to your people, the people that are helping you build, the people that have been assigned to you to build. And so if you get stuck at level 2, your people are also going to get stuck at level 2. But if they are also visionaries, then they will try to move away because they will start to feel like they are being stifled. I'm not growing here and all of that. So leadership is very important, and I'll go into that. I like to teach this part of structure, especially the pillars, with something called the airplane business model by Donald Miller. He came up with that framework, but I have also modified it based on a few things that I saw missing. So there's leadership, very important. Who is driving the plane? Who is flying the plane? Leadership is holding that. Then we have structure. What is your organizational design? And don't think that, again, I'm asking you to think 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now, what's the business going to look like? What's the business going to look like? And that's where the structure comes in. Are we going to have an accounting department? Are we going to have a learning and development department? Are we going to have this? Is this what are we going to have here? Again, if you do not know what that looks like, then you need to do a lot more research, because your business is not the first one to exist in this industry that you are in. And even if it is, it's not the first business to exist. So go and study similar businesses that are doing way better than you, so that you can have a fair idea of what the structure should look like. Or you can seek expert advice to be able to develop a structure tailored to your business and to your operations. Right? So structure is very important. Systems. Systems. What systems are driving the business? What systems are running the business? Are we able to automate certain things? Have we documented how we run the business? If you don't automate, if you don't document, it's difficult for you to scale. Scalability and continuity is difficult if you do not have systems in place, right? Then we have one of the very important things: people. People. I'll go into it very soon. Now that's number two, the pillars. Then the engine. What solutions are you providing, and what is growth and innovation looking like? You cannot be at one place. There are constantly problems arising with your consumers, with your stakeholders. What are the loopholes? What are the gaps that you're seeing when it comes to serving your customers? And that is where innovation comes in. What are the opportunities you are seeing in the market? That is where growth comes in. Then we have your vault. That's basically protection and preservation. What is your succession planning? It's very crucial. Who are the next generation leaders? What are they looking like? You may not know who it is now, like the person, but you would know the kind of person that should be in that position, so that when the person comes, you know that this is a fit. What kind of person should be, what attributes that does this person need to be able to run this department? What attributes that this person needs to be able to run the vision when I decide to take a step back? What experiences should they have? Right? The vault also has your wealth management. How are you reinvesting? What are you prioritizing? Are you prioritizing liquidity, or are you investing in assets? Like, what is that looking like when it comes to managing the wealth that you've accumulated over the period? So these are the core things. Now I want to go into the um what you I'm going to take you through the airplane business model. Let's do it this way. Okay, this works. Let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, see my screen? Actually, let me make it bigger because it's like it's too small. Too small. Okay. It's clear. Okay. Awesome. How many of us have paid attention to the aviation system and how things run? Like when you're traveling by air, how many of us have taken time off to and paid attention to that? What have you noticed about the aviation system? What have you noticed? What have you noticed? Everything is coordinated. Awesome. How do you think they achieved that? How do you think they achieved that coordination? How do you think they achieved that coordination? Mm-hmm. System planning. Systems are in place. Awesome. Okay. They have systems and rules they enforce. Awesome. Planning, testing, servicing. Awesome. 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 Notice structure in operations. Awesome. Running an airplane, let me not even see the whole airline, but airplane, it requires a certain level of attention because you cannot afford to make a mistake in the aviation space. You cannot afford to make a mistake. Like it's a matter of national security, immigration laws, um, people's lives, all of these things, right? So it's very important that they do these checks, right? It's very important that they do these checks. It's very crucial that they have all of these things going over checklists in a timely manner. It's very important. Very, very, very important. Like to the extent that the pilot has the list. The pilot has to they need to send the pilot a document before he can take off. So when you're the check-in counter, people say we've closed the counter. It's not because they are doing shakara, they are being too known or anything. It's because if they do not follow the rules, it affects not just the people they've promised. So the people on the plane are their customers. They have a brand promise that I will get you to X, Y, and Z at 11 a.m. GMT. If they don't follow the systems and the structures, do you know how chaotic the airport would be? Do you know how chaotic the airport would be? Do you know how chaotic everything will be? So, the airplane business model basically uses the airplane as a model for us to build our businesses around. Now there are seven key parts. Now Donald Miller's model has the um, body, left engine, right engine, the wings, the two wings, capital and cash flow. There's no cockpit. He didn't make reference to the cockpit, but I paid attention to it and I added the cockpit to it because it's very important who is flying the plane. Imagine you board a plane tonight and you see Patty saying that she's your captain for the flight. I bet you say that, you know what, I'm gonna come down. I will not go again. Wherever I'm going, I will not go again. Because you do not see me fit to fly. Like, what have I proven? You know me as a marketing strategist from nowhere. I come and tell you that I'm a pilot. I'm flying you from Accra to Berlin. Right? So, the first part that I want us to pay attention to, so I'll run us through these quickly, but I will stay on the cockpit a bit because I mentioned leadership. Leadership is very important. The leadership, the person that are, or the people that are flying the plane are very important, right? Now, the cockpit is where the pilot, which is the captain, and his co-pilot are in. That is where everything is engineered. That is where everything is controlled. They know where they are going. They know the destination. They have the vision. They have map. They know the routes and all of those things. The plane doesn't fly itself. Same way your business will not run itself. Even the planes with the best engines, the best, features and all of those things, these Airbus, whatever, first business class has a shower, it has a jacuzzi, all of those things, they don't fly themselves. Your business will not run itself. So one of the first things I want to touch on is the fact that pilots are trained, years of training, years of renewing their license. Because there are so many people's livelihoods attached to this um was the what's the word, to this profession of theirs. That's the same way there's so many livelihoods attached to your business. And so we cannot play with it. Right? So leadership, key, very key. We'll go into that deeper. Then we have the body of the plane. So the body of the plane is where the passenger sits. So where the passenger sits, and then below that is where they usually pack their baggages, packages, all of those things go be at the bottom. Now the aircraft, every aircraft has a limit. Every aircraft must be a certain must be at a certain weight to be fit to fly. Which is why there are regulations like how much baggage you can carry onto the plane, what you can carry, party the pilots, what you can carry, and all of those things. Now, what this represents in your business is your overhead costs, your operations. How much is it costing you to run your business? Who is in your business? How efficient are they? It's very important that you pay attention to this because if your overheads are high, at way too high, it exceeds your revenue, it means that your business will crash. It means that the weight is too much for the plane to be able to beat gravity like it does. So it's very crucial that your operational costs are lower than your revenue. Operational costs should always be lower than the revenue. What is the efficiency of your team? The people that are in the body of the plane. Are you with me? Are you tracking? Then we have the two wings. So the two wings, I don't think there's no airplane apart from the helicopters. Technically, they are not airplanes. They are air devices, but they are helicopters. But airplanes, all of them have wings. All of them have wings. If there are no wings, the wind cannot carry it for it to be able to fly. And these wings represent your products and services. So your business cannot exist without products and services. Your business cannot exist without products and services. It's very, 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 very crucial that you are constantly, like I said, innovating, finding problems, the loopholes, um, improving on the features, the functionality of the products or services. You are servicing the products or services to ensure that it's fit to fly, right? You have to make sure that the products and services that you have are profitable. You are not running a business if then you can't find any profits on the products or services. Even if it's one CD, $1, €1, £1, it just means that you need to watch the volume that you need to sell to be able to make the required profits that you need to make. Do you understand what I mean? So your products and services are very crucial. These are all the different moving parts that you have to pay attention to. This is very instrumental, especially for those that are yet to start a business. Then we have the engines. Some planes have 4 engines, depending on the size, right? So, but every standard airplane has engines on the left and on the right side. The left engine represents your sales, and the right engine represents your marketing. And for any auto, um, auto, where's the English? For any vehicle at all, for any vehicle, you need an engine to run it. You need an engine to run it. Your sales and marketing runs your business. Your sales and marketing runs your business. Do you understand? So you cannot you cannot be in your business. Overheads are running. Your overheads are running and your marketing is stagnant. Your sales is stagnant. And then that brings me to the final part, which is your capital and cash flow. What is your cash flow looking like? Because that is your fuel, the fuel for the business. So marketing and sales brings in the fuel. When you are selling, it's bringing in cash. Or you apply for a grant, you apply for a loan, that's capital that they give you. So you always have to make sure, because how are you going to be paying the bills if you are not liquid, if you don't have a consistent cash flow? So you may have stock worth 500,000 cedis sitting in your shop. You don't have cash flow. That's a problem. Automobile, thank you. Do you understand? So all these moving parts are essential for you to run a well-oiled business. Now, all these different parts need to have people that have good expertise on the subject, especially when it comes to your industry. So who is leadership? There's the pilot, there's the captain, right? And then there's the co-pilot. Then there's the other crew members. The other crew members are the ones that are making sure that overheads are lower than our revenue and we are making profits. Another crew member is in charge of sales and marketing. Sometimes it's combined, sometimes it's separate. Another crew member is in charge of product development, research and development, all of those things. Then there's accounting, finance, bookkeeping. Do you see how all these connect according to the airplane business model? Do you see how they connect? So, what do we need to make sure that we are doing? What do we need to make sure we are doing? There are a few things I need you to pay attention to when it comes to the airplane business model. The plane only takes off when all these systems are working together. If any part of the plane is broken, you can't take off. All of them must function in sync. So don't over focus on one area. You need to pay rapt attention to all these areas. All of them must be well serviced. They must be healthy. Now the people in the cockpits, which is the captain and his um co-pilots, they always have a flight plan. When I think some of you may have seen the video on my stories, my cockpit experience a few weeks ago. No, last week. This was on 30th. I had the opportunity to sit in a cockpit for landing when I was traveling to Germany. And listen, the pilots have their tablets there. They can see the routes they're using. The everything is there on display for them. Now, we that were sitting there with them, we don't understand it, but they know what they are doing. They understand what they are looking at. But if we ask them questions, they're able to clarify, they're able to say, this and this and that. So the person in the cockpit must always have direction, a clear plan. Their pre-flight checklists. They know how many people are on board, who is on board, how much weight. Do you understand? So it's very crucial. The cockpit is like you need to sit down and have your plan, your strategy. In the next 5 years, this is where we are looking to go. This is the route we are looking to use. This is what we are looking to achieve. These are the people we need to be able to get there. We are running low. We fueled up. For the next 6 months, we know that we can. This amount of money can take us there. How are we making sure that if in case there's an emergency, where's the nearest airport for an emergency landing? In case there's turbulence, they know how to navigate it. They know that they have to keep their calm, they have to do this, do that, they have to inform the passengers that they need to put on their seat belts, all of those things. Now, another thing I need you to pay attention to is that autopilot doesn't mean absent pilot. Some of us, the moment we hear systems and structures, we think that we are going to get to the point where we no longer have to be in the business. Like, I've delegated a task, and so go and figure it out. No, not yet. Unless you've completely handed over the business to another CEO, another executive director, another MD, you have to be there to ensure that you are looking at what these people that you've delegated to are creating, the results, the performance. You are reviewing the performance, you are tracking what they are doing. So systems, when you put systems in place, it can run things like automations can make so many things possible. But leadership still needs to step in to be able to evaluate performance and course correct. What are you measuring the results you're seeing? Are you able to show me that in the last 6 months, these are the insights about my business? This is the revenue we generated. This month saw the highest. This month saw the lowest. This month saw this because of this and that. Are you making time to evaluate these things? Right? That's very crucial. You are the captain. You are the captain of this airplane. If this, like I said, Patty the pilot steps into your flight and says, I don't understand the systems, you know, I don't understand, I don't know anything. I just know the bare minimum. Maybe I know how to fly one of these smaller planes, those ones that take like maybe two people or three people, but the system in that plane is not the same. So if you're looking to move from the pilots that's flies that smaller plane to a pilot that flies A330, what do you need to do? You need to update your OS. You need to improve upon your knowledge, on your expertise. So, what is the gap? Where are you looking to go? And what's the gap that you have found that you have? And how can you fill that gap? How can you update your operating system? Do you understand? As the leader, you are the visionary. You are the vision. You are the one that's bearing the vision. And if you're not clear on these things, it's very difficult for you to be able to hand it over to somebody else. It's very difficult for you to be able to communicate the vision for somebody to run with it. Do you get it? Okay. So for today, I'm going to end here with the airplane business model. There's going to be a part two to this, and that's where we go into setting up the systems, the structures, the people. My stay here in Germany, have it's a fact that exists that over here the economy, like a chunk of the economy is made up of the private sector. And the businesses in the private sector are mostly family owned businesses. Family owned businesses, right? And I think we've met about three family owned businesses. Two stood out for me. The first one is they're called M Group, and they've been in existence for about 57 years. And if you look at what they've built, now the second generation, no, the third generation that's about to take over the business. So we'll go into people management, but that's one of the last things I'll leave with you is that you need to relook at your mindset when it comes to people. Yes, there is the labor market is suffering, right? There's a lack of competent people, skilled people to be able to build. So we as visionaries, we as leaders have to find a way to be able to equip the next generation of people. Where are the gaps, right? Now, biblically, trust me to always bring the Bible to it. When we are hiring people, we're expecting that they come fully baked, right? We're expecting them to come fully baked. We're expecting them to know what they are coming to. We want them to just get straight into what they are coming to do, start providing results and all of those things. But the truth, the reality of the problem, the situation here, especially in Africa, is that there's a skills gap. So we need to solve that problem first, right? But one key thing that I've learned from, I think this is from the book of Daniel, when King Nebuchadnezzar, went to capture these guys and was taking them into slavery. They were going to work in the his administration, in his royal administration. Now, he says that the Bible says that he selected the best, so the most handsome, the most intelligent, the most they gave some criteria. I need to open my Bible study to be able to get the specific details. But he didn't pick just anybody because they were available. He didn't pick them because, oh, we've won the war and we can capture these men and then make them go and work. No, he wanted the best, the creme de la creme. It did not end there. It did not end there. Do you know what he did for 3 years? For 3 years, he trained them, fed them the best of foods, gave them, made them acquainted to their royal systems and structures before officially offering them positions. Even though Daniel and his friends did not fully participate in the food, they still went through the training. All right, but after the training they came out better than all the others. The point here is that even though they came ripe, they were already intelligent, they were good looking, and all of those things, he still took 3 years to train them before officially. You may not have 3 years, but what measures are you putting in place to ensure that your people are constantly being improved upon? You have a standard to maintain. Now, M Group in Germany is running the same system. Yes, they are bringing in people to work for them, but there's an academy in the business, in the organization, called the M Academy, where they are training not just the interns that are going from Ghana to that place, or the apprentices to train them. All the staff members are trained periodically, because to them, they cannot afford to make a mistake when they are serving a client. So when it comes to people, have this in mind always. How can you improve upon the people who are working within the systems and the structures? I'll leave you here tonight. It's 11 p.m. my time. I'll take maybe about 2 or 3 questions and we'll call it a night. 2 or 3 questions. Let me know how it's been for you. Let me know in the chats. How has the last 1 hour been for you? Let me know in the chat. I have an early morning tomorrow, so I got to go. The oldies know that I have in the history of party the strategies. I don't think I've ever taught a 1 hour any class below 1 hour before. So this is I've done 1 hour 5 minutes. Please let me know if you can hear me. How has it been for you? How has it been for you? Rule number one in Patty's class. Clara says she's shocked I've done 1 hour. Rule number one, I don't want to hear the word insightful. No, no, no. How has it been for you besides super insightful? What have you gleaned? What stood out for you the most? What stood out for you? What stood out for you the most? Yes, no insightful. I don't want to hear that word. That word is banned. Is banned. Awesome. The airplane theory. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Awesome. Please subscribe. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you want me to come back again. If not, I'll just close my ears and eyes. It has taught me that autopilot doesn't mean absence of pilots. Awesome. Everyone must be trained periodically. Awesome. Building steps from the POV of a bigger picture. Amazing, amazing. The breakdown of the airplane model and how it aligns with business building. Amazing. God has the blueprint. Go to Him for clarity. Absolutely. 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 Thank you so much. Um, I think I have a question here. Okay, let me show this question. I want to ask when you bring in other staff members, accountant, sales, and marketing executive as a business owner who's just started. So if you've just started, it's dependent on two key things, right? What can your business afford to have these people in? Can your business afford? Because if you have the capital and you um, planned for these roles, then you'll be able to. If when you are doing your financial modeling and you plan for these things, then you're able to work immediately bring them in to grow the business, right? But if you're starting small and you cannot afford it, you need to plan for it, right? How much would it cost my business to have these people? So that brings us back to your operational cost. How much would it cost me to have these people in? And what level of marketing and sales must we do to ensure that there's cash flow to be able to be paying them? There's that. Now, there's also another angle where bringing in these people sometimes directly influences the revenue that comes in. So that's also it. If you invest in a sales and marketing manager, their work is directly going to make an impact on your bottom line. So are we going to make that decision and bring them in so that we see the money we are looking to make? Or are we going to plan, and then when the business gets to that point we can bring them in? But when you get to the point where you cannot do it by yourself, you feel like you are spread thin, you can't do it by you, there's just too much you have to handle, or you've hit the knowledge gap. You've gotten to a point where you're like, I can't figure this out by myself. I need somebody to come in with strategic direction on da 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 da. Then you can bring people in. But it's mostly dependent on what you can afford to pay them and how long you can sustain that. Because you can't bring people in and not be able to pay them. Yeah. Seth, you say you will not. My chairman said he will not subscribe. Okay, I'll see you. I'll see you on 24th. um, what stood out for me was the emphasis on the person of the leadership cockpit part of business and how important it is to build a clear structure to hand over to the next person. Awesome. It's very important. I love the airplane model, the airplane theory, and biblical stories for better understanding general world doesn't mean you start afresh. Awesome. Um, if you have handed over a salon business that has existed for 20 years but has not had clear structures and systems, how do you start from there as a newbie? So was it handed, if you have been handed over, so it's been handed over to you, you have to build it like you're building from scratch. Build it like you're building from scratch. So the first thing you do is to run an audit or evaluate where you are now. What are your processes looking like? Sometimes systems are there, structures are there, but it's just not documented. Do you understand? So if it's been working for 20 years, then there's something that's working. So let's evaluate, see what's working, find what's not working, and try to fix what's not working. If you find that things are not being efficient, then it means that something has to change. Do you understand? Maybe it is the people, right? It's like, so your situation is like new management has come in, new management wants to introduce things that will make us serve customers better, but that will make us more profitable, that will make us operate more efficiently, and so drastic changes have to come into place. A lot of times you see a certain level of resistance from the people that are already existing. So wisdom is also very crucial here to ensure that you carry the people along and make them feel like they are part of the transition. Don't make them feel like you are coming to shake the ground that they are on, the foundation that they are on, but carry them along as the leader. Let them understand this is where I'm trying to take you to, and this is what we need to do to be able to get there. Do you understand? So the evaluation is very important so you know where you are. This class was specifically for me. The leadership cockpit was very specific to what God is teaching in this news. Wow, 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 wow. Me, I've taken this class. It's for you. It's for you. It's for you. Since we've agreed it's for you, just enter my DM and ask for my dollar accounts details. I'm eagerly waiting for part 2. God bless you too. God bless you too. Brilliant. Your why should motivate you more than profit. Awesome. Thank you so much, John. It's been good for me and seasonal. When is our next session? To be coming down your chest. It most likely will be soon. I've learned not to commit to things in real time because this is how I'll be shooting myself in the foot. My schedule is quite crazy this month. So I'm hoping that we can do I'm hoping that we can do this on a monthly basis. Yeah. But this month being my birth month, I'm trying to see if I can do two this month. The business is also turning five. So hopefully we'll be able to do another one this month. Let me just check a few things. So long as you registered, you are going to get an email with the details for the next one. It will also be on socials. I'll post on our social media platforms, and the recording is also going to be available on YouTube for you to watch. So come back, take your notes again, try to re-listen again, because from my experience, the more you listen, the more you glean stuff from there. So thank you so much, Ruth. Amen. May more be poured into me by God as you have poured into you tonight. Amen. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you all. And thank you for spending your evening with me. Even though this was very impromptu, in less than 36 hours, we had close to 500 of you register. And I'm extremely grateful that you spent your evening with me, and I'm able to share all these things with you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will see you in our mails. We're also running, I think there's a 30% off clarity sessions this month because I'm turning the big 30. So it's redeemable in August, but you have to book it this month. It's 30% off. We'll share the details as well this week before this week ends in your emails, right? If you want to take advantage of it now too, before it's this, because they're limited slot. I think they're about just 6 slots. Just send me a DM and I'll send you the payment link when it's ready. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure spending my evening with you and sharing this resource of generational wealth. Go out and be great. All right. Peace and love.